Alrighty, we're back into some Avowed. This will be sixth time playing it. We helped those people get off the island. We need to talk to the ambassador. I think I did that. Let's get into it. Stuff, but yeah, this is going to be a lot of reading. Fuck. Alright. Adir customs. Adir is a country rich with customs, and they are known for their strict adherence to them. Their customs run the gamut from grand celebrations like the Feast of Feasts to the mundane superstitions, such as ways to avoid svef addiction. This volume will focus primarily on bigger celebrations, as no one knows how to throw an extravagant party quite like an Adiran. The Feast of Feasts. The biggest and most important of all Adiran custom is the Feast of Feasts. This week-long celebration happens the first week of Faunastal, deep summer, and is dedicated to honoring the life of first Furkunying. Each day of the week is devoted to some aspect of the Furkunying's life, and there are very specific dishes to be served at each meal. The Feast of Feasts originally began as a festival celebrating the birth of Furkunying's first son, and soon became a yearly occurrence during the week of his birthday. Currently, Adirians simply use it as an excuse for a party and to pull out all the stops in an effort to outdo the previous year. And lest you wonder, as I did, which Furkunyang is honored during the Feast of Feast, it's always the current Furkunyang for each Furkunyang. I'm butchering that. Is the first and only Furkunyang. Sweet treat. A special custom that arose at some point during the Feast of Feast. Sweet treat started as a way to keep children occupied so the parents could dine in peace. While it is still used for today, significance has been added to it. Each treat is placed in a container, usually small metal boxes, and hidden somewhere on the property. After everything has been hidden, the children are sent out to find the treasures. It is said now that hidden treats represent Glanfaithen artifacts, and children are explorers, bringing the riches back to their new and rightful owners. I'm so congested. Just got done doing the lawn and stuff. Always makes me all sneezy and boogery. Anyways, when the original colonists for Adir traveled to a new land of found the dry wood in the name of Adir and Furkunyang, they encountered the Glanfaithen people. The Carnival of the Mask celebrates this meeting. Originally, it was merely a formal reenactment as a play of the tensions between the Glanfaithens and the Adiran settlers. Jeez, I'm terrible. But it has since evolved into much more than that. Participants choose sides and come dressed in elaborate outfits depicting which group they have decided to align themselves with, Adirans or Glanfaithens. Everyone attends a masquerade ball, and this party replaces any resemblance of the play that was presented. Winter's End. Winter's End was never anything more than an excuse for a celebration, and it hasn't changed in all the years it has existed in Adir. It takes place during winter dusk and lasts of all 3 days. People use the time to reflect on the year, celebrate their lives, and remember the dead, especially those who have passed in the recent year. My goodness. The Adir Empire, Part 1, Origin. I'm a really slow reader, too. It's crappy. Well, in approximately 22 AI, a group of tribes called the People of the Deer unified into a new civilization called the Adir Kingdom. The tribes, small and widespread over the land, knew it would be better for their continued existence to unify. The leaders of each tribe became advisors to the king, chosen by the group. Each advisor would be still lord over by his people, but each lord would answer to the Firkanyang Fair Kanying. Fair Kanying. I think I was pretty close. I don't know. You'd have to go back and listen. Anyway, means first king. This decision was exactly what was needed for the Adiran kingdom thrived. This is exactly what was needed, and the Adiran kingdom thrived. Spreading across the land and establishing strong trade sources, the Adirans became known as fair but shrewd businessmen. While the country thrived and internally there was little strife, there were still the occasional skirmishes with the neighboring elven kingdom of Kulkin. Not long after the kingdom was formed, the Adiran people began studying animancy. Still largely unknown at the time, animancy was an exciting, terrifyingly new in the realm in which Adiran scholars saw great potential. This potential came to the bearing fruit in 2260 AI, when the group of animancers working together transferred the soul of a recently departed man to another body, creating the first of what would later come to be known as the undead. The reaction of this discovery was swift and decisive. Both the king and the Adir and the church of the Wodika was outlawed. If it would never again be practiced openly on Adiran soil. Conflicts with Kulkin continued, escalating into the minor war in 2398 AI. Afterward, a treaty was signed and the kingdom of the Adir merged with Kulkin to form the Adir Empire. With the political and military strife now settled, the Adir Empire would become an economic powerhouse, able to acquire and generate resources that were difficult to obtain in the other parts of the world. The empire's trade routes became some of the most lucrative in the world. Wowza. Contrary letter. Ambassador Hilgard. I have maintained order in Paradise for many years. I know this city when there is a good leader and a fair policy, there is peace. But you have allowed the steel garrote to terrorize my people, to sow distrust and fear. I suggest you tighten your inquisitor's leash, or the embassy might not carry your banners for long. Claviger Emund. Ooh. Some dirt. Up on it, dude. Out of my way. Drink some water for this one. The Adiran Empire, Part 2, Expanding Borders. In 2602 AI, Adiran explorers returned from the over the ocean, telling tales of the ruins and treasures there and of expansive fields that were perfect for growing Vorlos. The explorers warned of Firkanyang that the locals were not friendly to outsiders, but the Firkanyang, seeing this as an opportunity to extend his empire and secure trade on another continent, sent more explorers. Over the next 20 years, the area that would become the Drywood was investigated, mapped, and colonized in 2623. The first permanent Adiran colony settlements were established. Vorlos fields were set up north of the forest in Drywood, but between the conflicts with the Glanthithans and the War of the Broken Stone, it floundered. It wasn't until 2643 that the opportunity presented itself again. Some Estonian pilgrims wanting to escape persecution established colonies, and Vorlos farming operations in the territory of Red Saris with Grand Vela on the verge of collapse. The Firkanyang wanted to ensure his hold on the purple dye trade would be established. He encouraged the settlement and even paid to have the pilgrims set up in the New World. Because the Firkanyang was still trying to secure his name in the purple dye trade, he was unable to properly respond to Admeth Hedret. When he issued his ultimatum to avoid a rebellion and leave himself time to oversee the Vorlos farm in Redseras, the Furkanyang relented and made Amdeth and Greth Palatine in return for his concession. Adamant spent time and resources on the Drywoods trade and shipping routes, benefiting the Furkanyang with increased income. Ooh, wow. For 7 years, Drywood provided Adir with a steady income, leaving the Furkanyang time to ensure his trade system in Redseras was strong. With the Furkanyang's attention elsewhere, the Adamant instituted 10 years treaties ending slavery in Drywood and permanently removing one of the revenue sources provided by the Drywoodian explorers. The artifacts from the ruins scattered throughout the Drywood at this point from the Furkanyang's world meant almost nothing to the citizens of the Drywood. Deerwood. Oh shit, I've been saying it wrong the whole time. Deerwood. Deerwood, and that's my dyslexia for you. I'm trying to fight it. Anyway, Admeth had replaced him as their true leader. In order to undermine the Admeth's standing for Furkanyang found allies while willing to explore the ruins against the treaty conditions and plunder them. Soon Adir again had a supply of artifacts to sell. When his first agents were eventually caught, the Furkanyang distanced himself from the operation, certain there was no way to link him to the proceedings. But the Jeff, we'll call him Jeff, but the Jeff, using means provided to him by the Gladfaith and allies, discovered the evidence needed to prove the Furkanyang was behind the plunderers. The conflict arose from this revelation, led Admeth declaring independence for the Deerwood in 2668 AI after a bloody 4-year-long war that resulted in the death of Admeth, and Furkanyang relented. Trying to keep control of the Deerwood had become too costly. He signed treaties with the new Duck of the Deerwood and returned his attentions to Redseras, redoubling efforts on Vorlos trade, which is still running today. It's really congested. I suck at reading and I'm really congested. It's just really hard. Tane's diary. Dear diary, here I am living in the living lands. This island might not be the safest vacation spot, but it's certainly the most colorful, also the most flavorful, according to these mushrooms, and mushrooms seldom lie. Before I forget, I promised Berkana I'd bring back a souvenir. There's a rumen of a fallen star and emerald stare. Could be a nice addition to her collection. A message is scribbled inside the cover. If found, please return to Tane, the Archmage author of Tane's Chaotic Orb. I can't take it. Steel Garrote Report. We found this book on a public bench. After a careful study, our scribe confirmed the handwriting matches the signature found on the scrolls of Tane's Chaotic Orb. Be advised that Tane is in the living lands and is a member of the Circle of Archmagi. Excuse me. In the Circle of Archmagi, he has license to go where he pleases. We will observe him at distance, but no one is to engage him. Tane is either a harmless fool or one of the most dangerous people alive. We simply can't take that chance. I've got this book right here. Cartographers Guild, Volume 1. Long has the renowned Cartographers Guild served the emperors and queens of Adir. It is we who are responsible for the creation and redistribution of the many maps throughout the empire. Whether to direct travels throughout the expanse that is Adir, guide ship captains on their voyages throughout Eoria, or simply adorn the walls of an aristocrat's home, one can rest assured the Cartographers Guild is behind the creation of every one in these works of art. For over 2 centuries, since the Noble Expedition Corps discovered the Eastern Reach, have we worked. It's the shit. They started everything. Tick.
Envoy, hello.
Hello.
I'm glad to see you on your feet.
Oh, thanks.
Kai. Tej. I'm surprised they let you in here.
I'm surprised you're still gainfully employed.
I didn't mean anything by it, Envoy. He's just curious company for you to keep.
Hey, somebody has to have the envoys back, because you all sure did it.
No one expected the Envoy to get assassinated.
Exactly. Amateurs. Well,
Kai?
come on, it's funny. Tej caused a ruckus last time he was slumming it at the Bala Rock. You were trying to kill a man, if I remember right. I had to put you outside.
You threw me into the canal.
You lived.
That water's filthy. I had the runs for 3 days.
Gods, Tej. The envoy doesn't need to know that. Yeah, but now you'll never think of Tej the same way again, will you? And now he'll never think of you the same way either.
Let's not make more of it than it was. I shouldn't have said anything. The fellow cheated me. I couldn't let that slide. Or he'd think we were
Fair.
all marks.
It was over a dice game, right? Tej here has a gambling problem.
Great. Let's air all my troubles. Is there anything else?
The bartender sleeping with your girlfriend.
You're lying.
You sure about that?
We'll talk about this later.
I'm not breaking up with her for you. Just so we're clear.
That's more than enough. Thank you. Was there anything I could help you with, Envoy? The 7-foot-tall Almawa with biceps the size of my head? No, I am not.
Flatterer. You know I'm barely over 6.5.
Naturally, sir. How can I help you? Inquisitor Ludwine is the commander of the Steel Garrote in Paradise. Were you to ask her, she'd say she keeps the peace. But she doesn't keep it so much as prosecute it. As ruthlessly as the ambassador will let her. She's also a veteran of the Steel Garrote's campaign in the Deathfire, where she died.
She's a Death Guard. Well, that explains a lot.
I don't know what happened to her there, but I suppose Wodaka wasn't done with her yet. I only met her once. She was a mid-level member of the Steel Garrote then, chasing Oathbreakers who'd fled Adiran law. She'd come back to the Imperial Archives to borrow a map to a place called Oathbinder's Sanctum. I remember she was furious because the map was quite poor. She worried about finding the place, about properly executing her duty to her god. She wanted, I think, to do a good job. So, while clearly she has changed, in some sense, I'd say she's much the same.
Much the same.
Death Guards are surpassingly rare. Some of the secretaries who traveled with our dignitaries in the Deadfire spoke of one named Iser, a devotee of Berith, who guards the hanging sepulchres there. But I've heard of no others except those I've read about in the histories, or, as you say, in stories. They are people, most often paladins or priests, so devoted to a cause that they simply refuse to pass on to the wheel when they die. Their soul haunts their body. The passion required to sustain them devours their flesh, and they swiftly turn to bone. I've never read a history nor tale of a death guard that did not end with them going quite mad. When they lose their capacity to care for anything but their cause, they cannot love. And when they cannot love, they cannot be merciful. And so everything before them becomes only an obstacle. Think upon your promises and die. That's the litany of the Steel Garrote, usually said right before they kill you. They're an order of paladins born and bred in Adir, though clearly they've found plenty of work beyond our borders. Their remit is simple but comprehensive. They punish all who break their oaths. In practice, that has historically meant contracts. One lord or merchant will hire the Steel Garrote to bring a duplicitous rival to justice.
Fun bunch. What are they doing in Paradise?
Since the events in the Deadfire, their operations have expanded. The Steel Garrote has always been associated with Wodica. Now, they are explicitly her order. And they go wherever Wodica's priests, or Wodica herself, believes there is a need for them to go. The Living Lands are a dangerous, lawless frontier in sore need of order. Thus, they are here. Or so the Steel Garrote say. Do you think so? I've always found her inflexibility comforting. Wodica's edicts are clear. If you obey her laws, pursue justice, punish the guilty, and give fealty to the Emperor, then you have pleased her, and I aim to please. But Wodica does not trust. She demands that you declare yourself for her again and again. Her every request is a test, and her every test is an opportunity to disappoint her. I appreciate a god who makes you work for their grace. I don't want anything given to me for free. I'm an open book. There's a lot of ground to cover. Could you be more specific? Ah, the age-old question. Who's bigger? Adir is, naturally, by a wide margin. And were we at the Cartographers Guild in High Crown, I could show you on one of their globes. As it is, we must make do in the theater of our minds. The Living Lands are located in the far north of Aora. Adir is southwest of the Living Lands, situated along the equator. The Living Lands are more arid than Adir, and the island is more prone to storms. But its many deep valleys protect the various townships from the worst of the weather. Topographically speaking, the Living Lands are a place of extremes. Deep inland, mountains rise high enough to rival those of the White Marge, blanketed year-round in snow, while east of the volcano of Mount Forja is an acid sea that sinks far below the level of the ocean.
Acid.
The lands between them are riven with deep clefts in the earth and isolated by wastelands of sun-baked sand dunes. I'll share what I can. There is no singular authority in the Living Lands.
Not yet, anyway.
I shudder to think what the Living Lands would look like under your rule.
Well, to start, there'd be a lot more brothels.
Charming. Power is invested in the leaders of the various townships scattered across the island. The largest are Fjord, Thirdborn, and Solace. None of which, I will note, are as safe and orderly as Paradise. Fior Mesiverno is located in a valley known locally as the Emerald Stair, named for the terraced rice paddies that cover its hillsides. It is our closest neighbor. The city, if you can call it that, was founded 50 years ago by animancers from the Valian Republics. Apparently, the laws governing animancy weren't lenient enough in the Republics. So the city's founders came to the Living Lands, where they could practice their discipline more freely. Currently, Fjord is governed by a man named Ignacy Vidaro. Rather inept to hear the ambassador talk about him. Fjord's farmers supply most of the grain and vegetables we eat here in Paradise. Or it did. Their shipments have been infrequent lately. Something about a blight in the fields. In any event, I believe that covers fuel. Everything you need to know about Thirdborn is in its name. It was founded by the Thirdborn children of Rawatai, Navy dropouts, smugglers, and hands for hire. Almawa and Orleans, mostly.
Home, sweet home.
You're free to go back any time you like.
I like my current circumstances just fine, thanks.
They are people, in short, who couldn't cut it in the civilized world and had to make room on the margins. Unfortunately, they are currently besieged by the Dream Scourge. We have sent some troops to lend what help we can, and the mayor, Temerity, was appropriately grateful, but I don't know how long they'll hold out. Solace is, what is there to say, really?
Yeah, they tend to have that effect on people.
The trouble is, I don't know much about Solace. Nobody does. They are an isolationist community of Pogrunan dwarves who live in the forbidding ways of Galawain's tusks. They don't let outsiders into their lands, and they don't let their people out of them.
Some folks get out from time to time, but they can't ever go back. And the ones who survive aren't eager to talk about their experiences.
People aside, the land itself is incredibly hostile. The island's volcano, Mount Forja, rests at the heart of the region, and it's recently become active. Half the land is lava rock, and the other half is,
volcano.
well, literally lava.
Hopefully we get to see it.
I don't know why anyone lives there. I have to assume they're all insane.
You have no idea.
The Valian Republics are a collection of city-states in the Eastern Reach, southeast of our former colony, the Deerwood.
You mean drywood?
The republics began life as colonies of the Grand Empire of Valia, hence the name. But as Grand Valia's economy collapsed, well, the colony saw an opportunity to escape the influence of the Empire of Origin, and they seceded, much as the Deerwood did from Adir. Now a mature confederation in their own right, the republics have recently indulged their own expansionist ambitions in the Deadfire Archipelago. Through their merchants in the Valian Trading Company, the republics will sell you anything you could ever wish to buy.
Up to and including people.
We should count ourselves lucky they've had no interest in the living lands. In a struggle between our emperor and the republic's great dukes, well, I doubt we would come out on top. But if anyone asks, I was not the one who told you that. Rawatai is one of the old empires, every bit as storied as Grand Valia or our native Adir. If Adir is to the southwest of the living lands, Rawatai is to the southeast. And unlike our home, their small continent is racked by terrible storms. This is due, or rather was due, to the island's proximity to Andra's mortar, the unending super hurricane that once hid the ancient city of Ukaizo. Rawatai is largely peopled by Almawa, descended from those who fled the Deadfire Archipelago centuries ago, when Andra pulled the moon, Ioni Brather, into the sea. They are an aggressive, militant culture, and personally I find their obsession with gunpowder rather quaint. They are also our chief rivals on the world stage.
I don't think they see it that way.
No?
Well, as far as Navy brass is concerned, Adir doesn't really rate.
Now you're just making things up.
Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but we don't think about you at all.
Naturally.
Real shit talker.
Pogrunan are a unique community of mountain dwarves originating in Old Valia. As a people, they've made their name as explorers, builders, miners. No doubt you've seen their ruins in your travels, here, back home in Adir, and all across the world. They maintain a rich tradition of oral storytelling, chanted magics, and ritual carving, which they take great pains to record and transmit across their various communities. Even the most physically isolated Pogrun is not alone. Somewhere, one of their people is thinking of them and planning an expedition. Abidan must cherish them.
You sound like you admire them.
I suppose I do. By all means. Inquisitor Ludwine is the commander of the Steel Garrote in Paradise. Were you to ask her, she'd say she keeps the peace. But she doesn't keep it so much. She's a... Should you ever need me, safe travels.
Envoy, is it really you?
It truly is.
I can't believe you're alive. When they dragged you to Liviana's clinic, I assumed the worst. How do you feel? Not even death can slow you down, I see. But we'll return to the topic of your untimely demise shortly. Our first order of business is your purpose here in the Living Lands.
Okay.
Did the Emperor send you with anything for me? Your writ of commission, perhaps? Very good.
Keep it profesh.
I'm eager to see what our Emperor intends. Now, His Majesty names you a loyal servant of the Adiran Empire, and an extension of the throne's authority. Thank goodness. At least someone understands the gravity of our situation. Here's something to tide you over. But your work isn't finished just yet. You've seen how wild the Living Lands has become, both in nature and in politics. Sometimes I think the island has a mind of its own. No sooner had you arrived than you found yourself at the center of our troubles. Well, not to mention your abrupt and untimely death. This embassy has no shortage of political foes, but the Dream Scourge is what keeps me up at night. You've seen firsthand what it can do in nature. We can't let it reach the cities. Thank you, Envoy. The island is in capable hands. Inquisitor Ludwine thinks the plague is a distraction. She's more concerned about these local rebels fighting against the Empire. Your instincts do you credit. They were Paradisans once, law-abiding laborers. Now, they're fugitives and oath-breakers hiding amongst the populace. They've sabotaged our work, killed our soldiers, and the final straw, attacked you out in the open. I look forward to hearing about it in your report. I won't lie to you, Envoy. Our position is tenuous. If we can't even defend ourselves, how are we to defend the Living Lands? But defend it we must, for the sake of everyone who calls this island home. Inquisitor Ludwine demands that someone hang for the attempt on your life. These Paradisan rebels must face justice. The choice is yours, as will be the consequences. All I ask is that you use your best judgment.
Not many get a chance to solve their own murder, you know. I know someone who could help. A dwarven tracker named Marius. Kith or beast, there's little he can't find.
Sounds good.
He's staying at the Grinning Ballarrock, not far from Liviana's infirmary. We just take the main road east to the market, then head down the stairs and cross the canal. Rough part of town, even by the standards of Paradise. Blend in, for one thing. Marius is from the Tusks, about the harshest and remotest place the gods ever created, even by the standards of the Living Lands.
Trickery, lies. The gods did not build this place.
Let's just say no one survives out there without picking up a few skills, the kind we'll need if we're going to find hidden assassins. Especially if they're from the streets of Paradise.
I suggest you recruit as many allies as you can, but choose carefully. They, like you, will represent the Empire. Oh, before you go, we received a report from Liviana about your condition. Apparently, you're in fine shape. Once your killer has been dealt with, you can come and go as you please. Remember, the assassin is out there. You have the element of surprise. I suggest you use it. I admire your confidence, but there's no point in being modest with our advantages. We'll talk more of the Dream Scourge when you return. Until then, Envoy.
How about we start with Marius at the Grinning Balrog? Besides, I could use a drink after all this.
Walk in, give her the letter, and go.
Hightown. See what's going down in Hightown.
The adherents have come quietly. They will not take us by force, but with rule and charters. They will steal our city from underneath our feet.
It's back through here. And around, probably. Let's go. This map. Oh shit, I can just go here, huh? Look at that. Figuring things out. Wowza. Kiowa's journal, the slim volumes in the warped, water-stained. A quick flip through its page reveals that it was diligently updated for 7 years. Its last entry was dated 2828, the year of Eotha's return. 2821, seasons of nestling birds. After 27 hours of difficult labor, I'm in the mother of coral pink squall of a girl. I'll call her Mata. After my mother's sister, who was carried away from us on Amir's wings last season, may she have something of her spirit as well as her name. 2823, seasons of sun showers, and Maru presented Mata with the fishing pole, the harpoon, and the basket this morning. How anxious I was that she should choose the harpoon and spend the hot seasons away at sea, or the fishing pole and be fettered away to the town, or to the basket to spend her life climbing trees. But sweet Mata turned her back on all of them and crawled into her father's lap. She will be as her father is, then a healer, and stay always near to me. I want the game. I'm a slow reader. Sorry.
If you traveled weeks to see him, you can wait a few more days.
Kara!
The Temple of Aethys is closed. Ugh, I don't know why everyone in the Living Land suddenly wants to see the old kook in there, but it's not happening. Not today, anyway. Probably not tomorrow either. Not with the way they're dawdling.
Since when do you make the rules?
Since I arrived with the big sword.
So you say I need a bigger sword. The Oracle has one. Let me in and I will borrow it.
I'm saying you need to go home because the goddamn temple is closed. The boy made it back to the embassy. I half expected him to kick off on the way there.
He was badly injured and grieving his brother's wounds. I say it is good news.
Sure, until the Inquisitor hears he abandoned his men to go crying for his mum. Right, sorry, Envoy. The expedition team entered through the cave just past here. They planned for a day's journey, but they've been gone for more than 3. Something must have held them up. Our freak mentioned traps and earthquakes and...
The Oracle who maintains the temple is a godlike of Aethys, so there is no telling what he is capable of.
They were carrying a lot of tools and weapons with them, so be on your guard.
Okay.
And Envoy, thanks. I know Offreak will appreciate you looking into this. Yeah, well, you're not just anyone. You're a friend of the Emperor, and that means something.
Blah, blah,
Hey,
blah.
good luck out there.
So fancy. One sec. first cave I've gone into. Cool. Maybe it'll just take me to another side, though. I don't know how it works.
That spear looks Adiran, all right. Guess we're on the right track. Views like this remind me why I came to the Living Lands in the first place.
Something stirs here.
The Dream Scourge has driven people to the city. Means more bandits on the road. Blood and a broken tripwire. Maybe Offrig's squad passed through here.
What's that?
Look at that. That statue. How did anyone build that all the way down here?
Rituals, whispers of searing light.
Zarms. Want to sneak a fight? Quiet as the depths. Mind you not to spook you.
That's one for us.
Wow. Leveling up and doing my gear. We're gonna mop the floor with those guys. Easy peasy. What's that? Painting on the wall. Cardwald, I can find no more use to put my talents in our pitiless land, so I must go. The water freezes. I create art from it. The water melts. My art dissolves. The water freezes again. The cycle once brought me peace. I looked upon my work and was comforted by its impertinence. And now in the impertinence of all things, I took comfort in Rimgrand's promise of the end. But even the ice carver is not impervious to the cold, and the new wind that blows from the north, from Ukaizo, from the cracks in between, chills me to my bones. There is something wrong in the world, Loda, and not even your bright smile can set the cycles right. To rights. I head to the living lands. The vitality that fled my art is gathering there. Condensing now, a new chill rises in the land. A great conflict is coming, and our master will need his harbingers at his side. If Vatnir returns, tell him to come. But my love, I beg you, do not follow us to serve our God. Most faithfully, I must believe you're still alive. Lexi. Daily affirmation of focus and efficiency. All errors can be reforged into lessons. Abide and rebuild himself from the ruin. No setback is insurmountable, not even death itself, so long as the soul is dedicated to the task. Yeah, that's what happened to my character. Work hard, work well. Abiden demands only honest labor and forthright service. All errors can be reforged if your first intentions are pure. All ignorance can be reforged into knowledge. Master your craft. Excel in what you have been trusted to do. Do not offend your teacher by remaining a student forever. Each generation must forge its success. Teach your trade to all who are willing to learn, and in doing so multiply the fruits of your knowledge. All difficulties can be reforged into triumphs. Okay, I get the gist of it. Don't ever give up.
Hold it together, kid. We're nearly there.
You're not my brother.
I'm not. Well, the hero's gonna save you.
I got to be dreaming. Oh God, am I dead? Is this the Beyond Spirit? Have you come to take me to Galloway's side?
The kid's in bad shape, but he's not too far gone. I think we can help him.
I'm not ready. I've never even touched a girl. It's not fair.
Not with that. No. Oh, you mean healing him. Sorry, I'm all out of potions. I don't know any healing magic either.
Magic? I had to learn some magic, but only the kind that explodes. I don't want to explode. Please help me. Oh, God, that's wretched. Are you sure you're not trying to kill me?
That's just the medicine working. And look, you're halfway to lucid, and your wounds are closing up.
Oh, wow. I feel leagues better. I thought for sure you were coming to take me back to the wheel. Who are you? And what you doing down here? He actually made it? I wasn't sure he'd come through. And he sent the Emperor's fucking envoy. Damn. Am I ever glad to meet you?
Focus. The free expedition score. Where are they?
Right. Those assholes. They went on without me after I got hurt. We'll come back for you once we've got the relic, Cadman. Honest. Horseshit. Yeda was probably hoping I'd croak so she wouldn't have to tell our freak how she abandoned me. All she cares about is that Oracle and his relic, which is probably just a big old dog bone if you ask me. He's probably still down there, fiddling with the statue. You must have seen it on your way in. Our captain, she's... I don't know. I don't want to talk out of turn.
Relax. You're not the first person to have a bad commander.
It's not like that. I mean, it didn't used to be. Yeda's not been quite herself lately. I've always known her to be cautious, careful. Now she charges forward recklessly. And she pushes us as hard as she pushes herself. That's how I got hurt.
Has she been short-tempered? Distracted?
Yeah. When we make camp, she has these terrible dreams. Wakes us all up with her screaming and muttering.
Can't be sure, but it sounds like the dream scourge to me, Envoy.
I doubt I know much more than you do. I mean, you're godlike, just like him.
Come on, kid. Don't get starstruck now.
Well, he's touched by Aethys, right? And he's supposed to be old, like hundreds of years old. And I don't mean elf old, he's extra old, like Aethys has been keeping him alive or something.
Great. He's old. Anything else?
They used to receive pilgrims, but only the ones who could make it in. This place, it's like a trial.
Yeah, we've seen the same traps and crumbling buildings you have.
And he's building something. A statue of Aethys, I think. But I don't know what for. I mean, after what Aethys did in the Deadfire, people don't come here anymore. He'll be the last one to have seen him, I bet. I'll just rest up here a minute before I head back to Paradise.
Take it easy. No sense getting yourself into another scrape.
Promise, I'll take it slow. Hey, Envoy, for what it's worth, I really thought I was gonna die down here. Right, yeah. Got those assholes to save and everything. I hope they're better off than I was.
Seems like a good kid. Glad we could give him a hand. Maybe find a way honest, girls will too. So, the kid said that.
History of the Living Lands 1. Origin. Living lands do not exist. What? But certainly there is an island. Certainly there are valleys. There are rivers, lakes, mountains. There are even trees. Fungi in abundance together. Taken together, do these not constitute as living lands? I will concede that they constitute the description of the continent, but this continent lies north of the equator, and that is this continent is equidistant from Adir and Rutai. I will concede that this continent is real so long as I walk upon it. We call this island living lands, but the living lands is merely a descriptor of the attributes. The list of attributes does not alone make up a place. I believe that for a place to become real, it must have a name. For the name to be real, it must have history. History confers meaning, and meaning is given to a name by its namer. By the living lands cannot be an island's name, because I have traveled its breadths, climbed its peaks, and delved countless depths, and I have discovered the living lands has no namer at all. Unless the words we use to describe the continent, the living lands, were given to us by the godless, unless these words have meaning, only they could comprehend, unless the world's words have history, only they could know, and the haecity and the thisness of this place was lost with them.
Expedition team went deeper, looking for the ore. I say we head after them.
Shoot, we could go deeper, bro. Why not? Smokes people.
Right behind you. How'd you do that?
Inquisitor's request. Captain Gata. The relic you seek is but one of the many thorns in the rotten heart of this land. Claim it for a year, and it should its efficacy be confirmed, you will be appropriately rewarded.
Didn't realize the head of the steel garrote was into antiques. I see someone. Be ready for anything.
My brother. Can it be?
Come, stand in the light. Let me look at you.
Do you see me? Do a little twirl. Do another little twirl for him. Alright, he should see me.
It has been too long. I had feared I was the last of us, but you... Oh, the very sight of you is a balm for the soul. I am the Oracle Sargemus, servant of the once shining god, he whose light has lately dimmed. What brings you to this sacred space? An expedition? I'm afraid I don't understand.
An expedition? You know, treasure maps, matching outfits, campfire songs, the works.
I am familiar with the concept, tomb raiding and the like. What troubles me is why they would come here. These ruins are not so different from the many others on this island, except that they are a good deal more treacherous. And this representation of Aethys we stand before, it is the work of my own hands. They could not hope to move it. Do you know what their purpose is here? Ah, the splinter of Aethys. I suppose it was too much to hope they were here to examine these exquisite ruins. Truly, it is their loss.
I think I'll have to find him.
The splinter of Aethys is a sliver of shin bone from my lord's titan body. It was carved from his skeleton many centuries ago. Yet long after the gods left this mortal world to claim their dominion in the beyond, the splinter is infused with the very essence of my lord's power. To illuminate without fire, to heal without injury, and to speak without voice. It rests in a shrine deep within this temple complex, beyond the reach of looters, visitors, or indeed, myself. The path to the relic has fallen to ruin. Some sections are flooded, and others are infested with all manner of creatures. Although, perhaps you might assist me with that.
If you're about to ask us to tidy up, think again. My place is a much bigger mess.
Oh no. I had something far grander in mind. You see, this construction beside us is no mere statue, but a reliquary I have built to house the splinter of Aethys in its appropriate grandeur. It is nearly complete, and ready for the splinter to be interred. But I can no longer reach the relic on my own. Return it to me, and who knows, perhaps you will meet your expedition along the way. Take all the time you need. Oh, and please refrain from touching my statue or devices. May light illuminate your path, brother.
is gone, but still with me. What form should a reliquary take that is fit to hold the splinter? Where I in the high crown should still. I would petition to church for ivory gems and gold for this remnant of his holy body, and is worth all the wealth of the empire and more. Being as I am sequestered here, I will make do instead with the wealth of the land, granite from the tallest peaks, clay from the fertile riverbeds, and trunks from the most aged trees. I must work without ceasing until it's done. The memory of my lord cannot endure delay. Source of fresh lumber. Niall only seems to be able to source rotten lumber, and the contemptible stuff cannot withstand damp of this cavern. Must find someone who can fell a few fresh trees, and hew fresh trees, or my fragile generous will not be able to mercy of his arms.
be. They protect my devices.
Goodness, I'm blind.
This reminds me of the stranger. How is anything this big all the way down here? We make a good squad.
This drawing details the plans for the creation of a large statue powered by essence. The essence is intended to be injected into the statue by an array of animatic devices. Where such a vast store of the essence might come from and what statue could do with it is unclear. I think it's pretty cool. Some prayer. Facial prayer.
Stand back. Six years in Dawnshore, and I never knew something this big was under our feet the whole time.
A pulse beating out of time. Should it be disturbed?
If it weren't for the creepy oracle and the invading roots, this place would be kinda nice. Good eyes. There's the relic. It can't be as easy as just grabbing it, can it? That must have been this way.
A false item. It waits.
Something's moving in the main chamber.
Wrecked him, dude. What's happened from the level up? Super
From the rear. Who's ready for more? You take lead. That earthquake must have knocked something loose. Well, better a flood than a cave-in. Something's not right here. Take a look around.
Yej's journal. New orders came down from the Darren today. We're to be sent to the living lands. The diplomatic corps have established an embassy in the port city of Paradise, and they need support. Cataloging the unusual ruins here. No doubt it will take months, perhaps a year or two at least, at the very least. I had promised Redwin I'd be in the High Crown to celebrate in Estu with him and the children, especially since it will be Miri's coming of age. But how often are you given the opportunity to lay foundation and study previously undiscovered ancient culture? I'm sure he'll understand, and Miri will. Well, I think my daughter will be glad I'm gone.
Well, we found the expedition.
We did.
Looks like they've only been dead a few hours. But how did they get in here?
You know,
They can't have come the same way we did. We swam here. What's stranger is there's not a scratch on them. No sign of what killed them. It's like every member of the expedition team just
because
collapsed.
they had their ass in sucks.
You think he's building a what? Giant animat?
Yeah.
I've heard of those, but I've never seen one. They're suits of armor brought to life by bound souls, right? The Oracle couldn't have put the expedition's souls in the statue of Aethys, right? There's still a lot of debate over what even happened at Ukaizo. Perhaps the Oracle knows the truth, or perhaps he's just as lost as we are. Aethys is a dangerous god associated with Eora's bloodiest wars, and he recently killed thousands of people in Deadfire. Now, we have a piece of him, and we're about to face a maniac who wants it desperately. Tread carefully.
Definitely. Just cooking them.
Why has he come here? Why does he build the idol in this place?
But we'll find out.
Even the flood could not stop him. Fealty or sickness?
I don't know what this guy's capable of, but I've got your back.
I think maybe that'll unlock that other door. It's over here. I don't read all the literature. I just like to read all the literature. There's gotta be a way to open that door.
Unseen, unheard. No one said anything about tight spaces. Oh no, you don't. Another win, but who's counting?
I think we'll figure out what the heck the Oracle's up to.
There you are. I worried for you when the earth shook. Careful, please. Stop! You'll damage my statue! Coming from your right!
I guess that's justice. Why couldn't he have just stuck to sculpture?
Hear us. Follow us. We would speak to you. We sense weight on you. Essence. Yes, we know this melody. A part of the statue, a piece that yearns for its true place. Combine them. Join soul into body. Let it sing for us. It dreams in colors we have never seen. Could we use it? We cannot know. It must be complete. Feast? Famine? We could not say. The Adra dulls our mind. We sense an acorn. Possibility. What will bloom? We await.
Hey, Envoy. Back with us? Between tensions in the city and threats outside, the militia's in over their heads.
We will speak to you. It wakes. A host. Form-given life. One day when we are free, we could return here, dwell in this body, feel the earth again. But it is a sprout, fragile. It must sleep here undisturbed. A secret you could keep. Tell us, will you give us this gift? We are not sure. Could we touch the world? Walk in the ocean? Sift our fingers through sand? A shard of Adra tethers it to us. Yet it is weak. A quagmire of essence occludes its veins. If we had time to tend it, perhaps we could find a way.
We're checking on this one.
A vessel to hold us. We will remember this. The Adra strains. It aches, a choking barricade of souls. Essence like mud, we cannot swim here. It must be flushed out. Free this obstruction. Then, when our prison bars fall, we will see. New earth to till, we flower. We rest now. We must consider this.
Guess his work on that statue didn't leave much time for renovation.
That's that. Go for it.
Never thought I'd be so relieved to see Paradise.
Yeah.
Tragedy. Recently arrived convoy from Adler was assassinated just inside the front gate. Killer is still at large.
Hey, it's the envoy. Envoy, hey. I swear, I owe you the world. I own the world. He saved my life, remember?
Yeah, you only told me about 100 times.
Hey, where's Yeda? Is everyone else on their way?
No. Oh, gods. Does he mean...
They didn't make it, Offric. I'm sorry.
But you saved Cadman. You couldn't save them? Or you didn't try?
What happened?
I can't understand this.
Hey, Offric, hey, listen. We always knew that was a risk, right? And we told ourselves.
Better to go out at the bottom of the world or the top. And dying in bed like Granda, asking what if.
Did you avenge them? Is the Oracle dead? At least they got justice.
And I got my brother back.
Don't be a baby. You would have been fine without me.
What I mean to say is, we're grateful, Envoy.
Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to give you this. It belonged to our grandfather. He'd always wanted to join the Corps, but life got in the way. When we were recruiting, he gave it to us to remind us to live well.
Ambassador Hilgard has written to Expedition Command back in High Crown to see if they'll let us come home.
While we wait for their reply, I thought...
Wait. Let me guess. Mermaid's Den.
You told him?
It was a moment of weakness. I thought I was dead.
Well, I'm sure you've got big envoy things to do.
I don't know if you heard, but there's a plague on and everything.
If you're ever in High Crown, look us up.
Yeah, we can drink to the Corps together.
I wish things had turned out better for the rest of their crew, but I'm glad they made it. One of them may even get a happy ending. Wouldn't want their diplomats going hungry or sober. Guess the deer and discipline doesn't affect.
One for you!
Another glorious battle. Aye, aye. I don't think the new owners of the company.
Good one! Settle it, God!
So fast. Check back in tomorrow.